This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, welcome back everyone. So we were discussing about we had completed around 4 videos of this capstone project discussion. So the expectation here is that you're creating the minutes of meeting document, which you will be sending across, so that I can mention about how it could be a better way of documenting things if it is possible and all. I can share my feedback with you. In fact, you can go back to the illustrative example related videos to see how a minutes of meeting document is created, what are the major contents of it, like how do you mention the action items, how do you mention the discussion points, the attendees, the dating time, and all those things, subject and chairperson, next meeting point, and all those things. Okay, so start creating such document and start putting in the details, and do not go by these 1 2 3 4 5 6 what I've mentioned. This is just for the discussion that I'm doing it this way. This is not the exact way that you need to do it. You need to put it in a much more detailed format. Okay, and as I was just reminding you in the last segment also, you should also be looking at the wireframes that you need to create. Again, go back to the video where we discussed about the requirements prioritization, requirements capturing techniques, wherein we discussed about the uh, prototyping method. Okay, in fact, I had used draw.io. That's just because that's a free tool. You can use any other tool out there in the market and create, because now you will also be trying, you'll be in a position wherein you can appreciate the way it works, because now you can see, for example, we are discussing about this initial login method, alternate login method, how you show the screens and all these things. So now you have some things to put across in the screens and see how the customer experience happens across each and every screen. What's the process flow? All those things you can put it across. Okay, so try creating it, and frankly speaking, it doesn't really take a lot of time, because here you're not looking at the logo, the color, look and feel, font, and all those things. That and all will come later. Now your point is just to have a blueprint, okay, of every screen, to discuss with the stakeholders like how the journey would be for the customer. Okay, fine. So coming back to the project details, so we looked into option of login through PIN. The second thing, login through Face ID, and I was saying that this is not enough. We need to ask further questions. Now, what can be the further questions that can be part of this specific requirement of adding a feature of login through Face ID? Think of it. Now, one question is, what if the customer's phone is a very basic phone? Okay, still a smartphone, but or maybe the front cam is not working, or something like that. There is something which is not allowing the customer to use the Face ID. Maybe they are opening it in a during the night time where there is not enough light to capture the face and authenticate it with the face uh, which has been captured. Question, that's a valid question, right? So these all will lead to a scenario wherein you might have to consider adding one more login method if possible. Okay, so login through Face ID, you can still add it. Again, when we say login through Face ID has to be added, you need to discuss further questions about it, like what will happen. Customer, so customer is in the screen which says please select the alternate login method. First one was login through PIN number, that is done. Second is their login through Face ID, which is again a sort of a optional login method which the customer can either select or not select. So let's say the customer selects it, then goes to next screen. It says please hold the camera in front of your face, and then let's it shows the face counter, and you need to place the phone in such a way that your entire face is within that particular shape of the phone, which is displayed on the phone, and then it captures, and then it stores, and then it says log out, log in again using your Face ID. So now what happens is, the second time when you open the app, it will tell you please select one of the login methods, PIN or Face ID. You click on Face ID, then it captures your face image and then allows you to open the app. Okay, that could be option. Now third option, what can be added here is, you can also discuss about login through fingerprint authentication, right? So this is the third method. So you provide the customer the option to log in using the fingerprint authentication also. Again, the questions will be like, okay, again, okay, one question could be, how many fingerprints? Like, everyone has 10 fingerprints, which can be used, 10 fingers. Does it mean that you can ask the customer to, save all the 10 fingers? No, right? So you either two, three, four, because your normal phone unlocking, you can do it using multiple fingerprint options. But here, let's stick to only one. So only one fingerprint option can be stored, can be saved to be used to authenticate. Okay, that's one thing, and yeah, that should be fine. Okay, maybe again the same thing. How does it work? You provide the option, the customer selects that. Select this option of login through fingerprint ID, then ask the customer to place the finger properly. Place it multiple times to capture the entire fingerprint, and then save it. Maybe give a name to that fingerprint option, and then ask the customer to re-log in using the fingerprint. That's it. Okay, so till now, if you see, we are in the fifth video, but still we are only talking about the login section. Okay, because there are too many things that need to be clarified for each and every requirement that you capture, and only then you should go to the next one, or else you might end up missing out critical points, which will make your solution a little bit not that effective and all. So till now, what you have seen, if I have to put it in the flow, in fact, when I say put in flow, you can even use some flow charts. Flowchart is what? Nothing but a set of steps that you mention with an arrow mark between every two steps, right? So maybe you'll say that first thing is customer you know downloads and installs the app. Okay, then the next thing would be that uh, uses internet banking credentials to log in first time. Okay, request customer to select alternate login method. Okay, provide three options, what we discussed about those three options. Okay, customer selects first option. What is it? Pin. Select pin option. Okay, then you'll show these steps. Okay, maybe you can let me put it. Enter pin, then re-enter pin, and then log out and log in again. This could be one thing. And then in this provide three options itself, you had the second option. For that, again, there'll be a set of steps which you'll mention like this. Okay, then again, third option also you'll mention steps like this, and that leads to a scenario wherein you're allowing the customer to select multiple alternate login methods. Done. What's the next thing that has to happen? Now you have seen till here. Okay, so as I said, you can put each of these things into some boxes and you can show the process flow. Maybe here when it comes to here, you'll have a the diamond box which shows multiple options possible. You select this option, then what happens the next set of screens, the other one, like that. Okay. Anyways, now coming to the next point, here what can happen? The next thing is customer has started using the app, selected alternate login methods, logged in using alternate login method. Next thing is this app's main purpose is to allow customer to withdraw money, right? So you can ask customer to enter the amount to withdraw, basic thing. So now you ask the customer enters the amount that he or she wishes to withdraw. Okay, from the city ATM, Citibank ATM. Okay, now this is the point, which is the next screen that comes up. Now, is it okay to just mention that, okay, allow the customer to enter the amount? Do you need to do any sort of validation, any sort of checks on how this amount can be entered? You can ask this question. You can think of it. You can ask the relevant question to the customer, to the stakeholders. Maybe one question can be that, or one sort of check that has to be done is, uh, what is the available balance, right? That is a major check. Even when you go to withdraw money at an ATM, when you slide in your debit card and then enter the PIN and then select cash withdrawal, then it will ask you to enter the amount. When you enter the amount, what is the first thing that it does? It checks whether your account has that much of amount of balance or not, right? So that the same check has to be done here, right? So now your app integrates with the banking software to identify how much amount is there in your account and then let you know whether you can withdraw the amount or not. So that will be the first check. Validate the amount that can be allowed to be withdrawn. Okay, fine. Now here again, classic example. Now let's say that I have around 50K. Okay, 50,000 rupees are there in my account, and there'll be a, if available, if my account has 50,000, I will not be allowed to withdraw entire 50K. There will be a uh, there'll be some amount which will be, I'm not getting that term exactly, but there is some amount which will be minimum account balance that you need to maintain. Okay, so maybe 5,000 for certain type of accounts. So what happens is, if example amount available in account could be around 50,000. I don't have the rupee symbol, so I'm using it this way. Okay, but amount allowed to withdraw would be, say, 45,000. Okay, so in this case, when I enter, knowing this thing, if I'm entering the amount to withdraw, enter the amount to withdraw. If I'm entering something like 47, I should not be allowed to withdraw. I can be allowed to withdraw only 45. In that again, if there could be a limit, like maximum you can enter only this much amount per transaction to be withdrawn, because the amount comes in form of cash, which has to be dispensed in that particular transaction. There could be a maximum limit on that. There could be sometimes in some ATMs. So all those things have to be considered here. So you are saying that, okay, we'll allow the customer to. So one first validation you do is to see how much amount is available to be withdrawn. You'll do that validation. What's the next thing? What if I want to enter amount something like 5735? Sometimes your questions might seem a little illogical, but you need to clarify these things also with the stakeholders. So here the point is, you cannot enter an amount like 5735 because ATM will not be able to dispense the notes which will count up to 5735, right? So you should actually enter amount. Okay, the conditions would be, amount entered should be less than amount allowed to withdraw. Okay, second thing is, amount entered should be in multiples of 100. Okay, so when you say in multiples of 100, you mean you can enter 5,700 or 5,800 or 6,300, whatever it is, but it should be in multiples of 100. That is the next check that you can keep. Is there any other check that you need to keep on the amount allowed to withdraw? I mean, don't get into too much specifics like negative numbers or alphabetic letters entered instead of digits. That and all is not allowed. You have the keypad which opens with only numbers and all. Okay, so this should be fine, right? So till now, what you have seen is customer has logged in, and then customer has entered the amount that he or she wants to withdraw. Is that enough? Can we directly jump into providing a code, security code, which the customer can use at the ATM? Now this brings a sort of the actual constraints which could be part of your solution. The reason being, now let's say that in a particular city, okay, in a particular city, you have say 50 ATMs of Citibank. Okay. Now, now I'm using this app at the comfort of my home. I've opened the app, have said that I want to withdraw, say, 20,000 rupees from Citibank ATM. I have received a code. Might be you're also based out of the same city and you have entered that you want to withdraw 30,000. The other person has entered that he wants to withdraw 10,000. And maybe another five or six customers have done the same thing. Now, what happens if all of these people go to the same ATM to withdraw the money? Let's say there's one central location in the entire city, some major shopping center or a mall, where the ATM is very busy all the time, and I have, as a customer, gone to that ATM to withdraw the money after entering all these details in the app, that I want to withdraw this much amount, and you did the same thing. The other people also have done the same thing. You go to that particular center, and and again, one more thing you need to note is that you are not going to disrupt the existing money withdrawal process which is there. What is the existing process? Existing process is, you have, as a customer, can still go to that ATM, slide in your or insert your debit card, enter the options over there, and withdraw the cash. That method is still possible. Whatever mobile app based withdrawal is there, this is like an additional option that you're going to give the customer. Okay. Now think about a scenario where a central shopping center is there in a city where there's an ATM of Citibank, and 10 people have raised a request, and already at that ATM there are four or five customers who have already withdrawn the money. Now all of these 10 people are going to withdraw the money to the same ATM. Is there a chance of three or four or at least one of these 10 customers not getting the cash, because three, four normal customers have already withdrawn the money? The other seven, eight people who have used the app have also gone there and withdrawn the money. Now the ATM has run out of cash. Is that possible? Yes, of course. And if that is possible, if that happens, think about it from a customer's perspective. You are the customer, you have entered all the details in the app, you have received a code which says that, okay, please go and enter this four-digit code, you'll get your money. And I go there and I see that there's no cash. As a customer, it is a very bad customer experience, right? Because at least in the normal scenario, I go to the ATM without having done any prior work. I go to the ATM and then I see that it is out of cash. I feel disappointed and I come out. But now it is like I will perhaps fight with the customer care. I'll say that you made me open the app, you made me enter the amount to withdraw, you gave me a four-digit pin which I can use it at the app at the ATM center, and eventually when I go there, the last step you're blocking me. You're saying no cash. What is this? Right? So now, is there a way in which you can ensure that the customer, whoever is using this mobile app to withdraw the money, will definitely be assured that you go to the ATM and get the money? Is there any way that you can do this? Because that is of prime importance right now, correct? If you're not doing that, then there's no point in even giving this mobile app option. Maybe you're just saving few seconds of time, that is still there, but but still that risk of going to the ATM and then finding that, okay, I cannot get the money, that risk is still there. You have to avoid that also. So what can be done for that? Think of it. Okay, this is an open point. Think of it. And same thing, now when this particular problem statement was come up by the bank, they might not have thought all these problems that can be there in implementing this solution. Now you as a business analyst would be doing some sort of brainstorming sessions with them, or if they are actually uh, having enough thought process into it, they might have spent enough time on it, they might have already thought of it. Whatever it is, in this current scenario, think that you as a business analyst is supposed to analyze this thing, do the brainstorming with the stakeholders. Maybe the stakeholders themselves may provide a solution, but you see what you can do in terms of providing an option by thinking about it. Okay, so we'll stop this video here. Think about it, and only when you have a probable solution in your mind, then go to the next video where we'll discuss further about this particular solution statement. Okay, then we'll stop this video here. Thanks everyone.